Ladies and gentlemen, the battle for Lord Stanley Cup will take place this Wednesday on April 10th. 16 teams battling it out, but only one by the mid part of June will have themselves called the Stanley Cup champion. Will we have a new champion? Will the Capitals two-peat? There will be upsets. There will be heartbreak. There will be drama, fights, all that kind of stuff. Exciting time for hockey fans. I'm Randy Dillon, and I'm going to break down the matchups that are going to happen in the first round, give you my opinion of who's going to walk out the winner, some of the X factors, and some of the most important things regarding those series. We're going to start out first out west. We're going to start in the Pacific Division. The first team in the Western Conference, second in the NHL, the Calgary Flames. They will battle the Colorado Avalanche. An interesting matchup here. You have two heavy, powerful lineups in their first line. The Flames, Monahan, Lindholm, Gaudreau. The Avalanche, the returning of Mikko Rantanen, Landeskog, and McKinnon. It will be an interesting matchup. This series, I think, will be a very fast-paced hockey series. These teams are fast. They like to move the puck. They can score. It's going to be interesting on what's going to make the difference here. I think the big thing for Calgary going to be, the question is their goaltending. They haven't yet announced who's going to start in net. It could be Mike Smith. It could be David Rittich. We'll have to wait to find out. For the Avalanche, I most likely think Philip Grubauer will get the start in Game 1 over Semyon Varlamov. He's been the better of the goalies to help the Avalanche get into the playoffs. The Flames, I think, have the edge here with their depth. I know the Avalanche has had their depth really pick it up as well near the end of the season, but when you got a guy like Matthew Tkachuk, you got James Neal being patient, have a horrible year. Will he break out? They have some other good depth players. For the Avalanche, their players have been up and down for the depth, but a lot of focus on the top line. It's going to be interesting, but the Avs want any chance to win it. Their goaltending going to have to be outstanding. Their goaltending's been up and down throughout the season, but Philip Grubauer or Semyon Varlamov will need to give them a chance. I'm going to say this series, it's going to be Calgary between 6 to 7 games. I think the Avalanche can push the Flames, but their depth might be too much. But again, it might come down to the Calgary goaltending. If they can't stand up or give them adequate to decent goaltending, it'll be interesting in a run-and-gun series where I think both teams will be good, but I think it will give the advantage to the Flames. So I'm going to take the Flames in this round. You will have a rematch of the second round in the Pacific Division. The San Jose Sharks battling the Vegas Golden Knights. No secret in the Knights this year, ladies and gentlemen. They're not the underdogs. I think they're the favorite to go far again. The Sharks, I know they loaded up. They got Erik Karlsson the offseason, went out and got Gustav Nyquist from the Red Wings. The Sharks are poised to make one more attempt for Lord Stanley Cup. The Knights said, hey, we got a taste last year in the finals. We want to take it all the way this year. The interesting thing for the Sharks, though, I think their goaltending is questionable at best because Martin Jones and Aaron Dell are combined for the league's worst goaltending, and Jones has not been able to turn around his performance, even with the play of Karlsson, who most likely will play Game 1, and Melko Karlsson. Even with the play of Brent Burns, if they can't get adequate goaltending, the Sharks are in problems. The Knights, I think, are strong to make another far run, but we'll see what happens. I think the Knights' interesting is going to be Fleury. Fleury just coming back after a 9-game injury. He played the last 2 games of the season. It'll be interesting which Fleury is going to show up. We've seen a very good Marc-Andre Fleury the last few playoffs. However, we've seen in years past, 6-7 years ago, where he was just dead awful. So this is going to be interesting. It'll be a heavy physical series. I'm going to take the Knights, though, in 7. All right, off to the Central. The Dallas Stars will be heading into Music City to battling off the first-place Predators in the Central Division. This is going to be fun. The Stars have played very tight hockey. They've been battling it out. Jamie Benn has not had the best productive year. Can he turn around the playoff? The Preds 2 years ago went to the Stanley Cup final. They want it more. They want to go all the way again this year. It's going to be interesting. I think for the Stars, there's not much depth underneath. Jason Spezza, an awful year. They've had some other guys helping out, but they'll need their big guns as well, and Jamie Benn will need to pick it up because the depth is not there. Zuccarello most likely will play game 1. We'll see how he'll pan out. Really only played 1 or 2 games since getting traded to the Stars. For the Predators, it's going to be interesting because Pekka Rinne last year was a big factor of why the Preds went home early in the second round. He needs to be better than what he was last year. Maybe not the Pekka Rinne that took them to the Stanley Cup final, but he needs to be better. And also for the Stars, the question is going to be Ben Bishop. If Ben Bishop's healthy, great. The Stars have a chance, but he's been hurt quite a bit this year, so you hold your breath anytime with Bishop. This series, though, there's a lot of people are saying the Stars are going to upset. I'm going to go for the Predators. I think they're built, they're ready for this, and the addition of Wayne Simmonds, he'll bring a big physical aspect to this team. So I'm going to say Predators in 7. The Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues. This is going to be a fun series. The Blues, January 2nd, were dead last in the NHL, and they somehow managed to get 3rd in the division. The Jets were one of the powerhouse of the team, but this lasted a while. They've been sinking. So it'll be interesting what happened for the Winnipeg Jets. Josh Morrissey most likely will play game 1. Brandon Tanev is questionable. We'll see what happens. I think for the Jets, Big Buff will have to be another huge part of this series. He needs to be physical. He needs to help lead the way. And it's going to come down net for the Jets, I think, with Connor Hellebuck. He has had an average season. Last year, he outperformed Pekka Rinne. He really helped them in the Minnesota series. If he is not up to par, and the Blues right now are firing on all cylinders, there could be problem in Winnipeg. For the Blues, they've been on a hot streak. They've been dominant. They're ready for this. The only thing I'm worrying about for the Blues is they're going to be a push-off. Like, they've been playing so good. It's now another level. Can they keep that intensity, or is it going to be a little bit of fall-off? This one has been hard to pick, going back and forth between the teams, because the Blues could easily take it, but I'm going to say the Jets because of the experience they gained last year. It was vital experience they went through in 3 rounds of the playoff. They're going to lean on that. I think they're going to be ready, and hopefully the addition of Kevin Hayes will help them like they did with Paul Stastny. He made a huge difference there, but we'll see what happens. All right, we are off to the Eastern Conference now. Some interesting matchups here. I'm going to start off in the Atlantic. The best team in the NHL, 62-win Tampa Bay Lightning, battling the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, I know a lot of people are saying the Lightning are favorites to win this series. I have a feeling might be more than the Lightning expected. I don't think the Lightning will be upset unless there's one factor in the Columbus Blue Jacket. Sergei Bobrovsky, where are you, man? You have had an awful regular season, especially in a contract year. If Bob can play the way he was winning the Jackets a couple of Vezinas, I think the Jackets might be able to push this far enough to a Game 7. Maybe by the smallest margin, pull the upset. But if not, the Lightning are going to dominate. The question for the Lightning will be, they had a dominant regular season from Game 1 to Game 82. Incredible. Can they now pick it up or even take it to another level for the playoff? It will be interesting, but I'm going to say Tampa Bay between 6 to 7 games. All right, the Atlantic. Second matchup, we got a rematch of the first round last year. The Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be in Boston to battle the Bruins. Very interesting series and kind of a tale of 2 different months of March. The Bruins was an incredible month of March. They were unbelievable. I think they win 12 straight games with a point and a win, so that was incredible. The Leafs, their March was awful. Freddie Anderson was awful. It was just a nightmare for Toronto, but they can turn that around. I think the Bruins are going to go with that physical play here, so we'll see if the Leafs can make it more skill type. This is where John Tavares is going to come in because they want to try to get the more matchup for Matthews that more favorable, but the Bruins, David Krejci, you know what? He heard the talk last year about Tavares. I think this is a big chance for him to step up. If the Leafs want any chance to win, it's going to be on the backs of Tavares, Nylander, and Freddie Anderson. Those three have to be strong. The Bruins, Tuukka's got to be good. I think he will. He's had a great run at the end of March. You're going to have Patrice Bergeron playing good. Like I said, David Krejci needs to be a factor in this series if the Bruins want to win. I went back and forth between this series. It's hard to pick, but I'm going to say, unfortunately, Toronto fans, it's going to be tough, but I don't think you're going to make it past the Bruins. I'm sorry. I just think even with Tavares, it's been a horrible month of March. I think the Bruins are poised, they're ready, and they've been strong. They made some great additions. So I'm sorry, Toronto, but you won't be getting past the first round again. All right, the Metropolitan Division. We got the defending Stanley Cup champions battling Carolina Hurricanes. Otherwise, a bunch of jerks, which are not, but a good title. The champs versus the jerks. Who knows, right? Anyway, the Canes had a great second half. They made it to the playoff. The Capitals are going to try to two-peat. This will be an interesting first round. The Canes, not many players have playoff experience or played a lot of playoff games in the last few years, so it's going to be interesting on that. Their goaltending kind of unproven. Curtis McElhinney coming in a couple of games. Mrazek as well has played some games in Detroit. Hope going all the way last year. This is interesting. I'm going to say the Capitals in 6 to 7 games. You know what? The Hurricanes, they're young, they're fierce, they're ready, but I think they just don't have enough in the depth chart. I think Washington is bringing a lot of their whole crew from last year coming back, so they know what to take. But you don't know. The big question is going to be Todd Reirden and his coaching style. He was the assistant last year for Barry Trotz, and we saw how good Barry did. So it will be interesting to see what Rob Brandamore can do. But the Hurricanes may have an X factor, might be Michael Furlan. You saw what he did for Calgary a couple years ago against Vancouver, but I think Washington's a different team, so I'm going to say the Caps in 6, as I said earlier. All right, the final matchup in the East, we got the New York Islanders versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, how many of you thought the Islanders were going to make the playoffs? I didn't. So, the Islanders, a great season. Barry Trotz, I think, will win Jack Adams award, but we'll see what happens. The Islanders are out there to prove something, but it's going to be tough. I know they're going to try to be physical against the Penguins. I know they're going to try to be hard against them, but I think what it's going to come down, the Penguins have a lot of star power. They have a lot of experience. When you got Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang, Jake Gensel, you know what a playoff beast he is. There's not been much talk about Matt Murray in this series, so we'll see what happens. But a lot of people are saying the Islanders want a chance. They were the second best team. They were the best defensive team in the league. They're going to have to continue that. If they want to push Robin Leonard, Thomas Greiss, whoever starts, they're going to have to give them amazing goaltending. If none of that can happen, I think the Penguins are going to run away with this. So I'm going to say 6 game for the Penguins. They're the first round preview for you guys. I'm going to break it down once a week to give you an update, what's happening, news around the league, updates on the playoffs. Do I think a team's going to come back, or are they going to run away for it? I hope you enjoyed this playoff preview. Remember, the Stanley Cup playoffs start this Wednesday. Enjoy the playoffs. Have fun. Hope your team go far. If not, I wish them the best of luck. Anyway, enjoy this time. In June, we'll see who will lift Lord Stanley Cup. I'm Randy Dillon. Have a great night.